the station can shine a little bit of light? Who is a candle in the darkness? Who is our own personal Jesus? And the answer was Tyler Columbus.
That's me.
He not only does he act like Jesus, he looks like Jesus.
Right. Yeah, something like that. Yep.
So we're here I'm Mark
I'm
Bernelli.
having a bad day.
You're having a bad day?
We were supposed to work at like 3:30.
Yeah, we were supposed to go on the air at like 3.
We had to miss an hour and 20 minutes of the show.
Yeah, what a bummer. You didn't have to work for it.
I'm having a rough go of this.
Man, that football game was drunk. That game was drunk. Not only that, I was getting emotionally invested in the control room the hour and a half we spent watching the end of that damn thing.
I didn't know I could care so much about a game that literally means nothing.
Right. I was just hoping they'd go further. Like, we got to 6 overtimes. I wanted 12. Like, I wanted double
we came that far, you know?
Yeah.
Did we just watch the best bowl game of the season?
Maybe. So far, it had to be, right? It had to be. Definitely the only one that went to 6 OTs. That game was 4 hours and 50 minutes long.
So you and I are watching it because we're like, I wonder if we can get a segment or two off of this thing. All of a sudden, Spring rolls in, and he's like, oh, boy. I need these boys now.
Yeah. Hey, listen.
Spring's got the itch.
Spring's got it. Spring's had a good day. Spring's had a good day. Yeah. He's doing all right. He's feeling okay. But, all right, now we've got an hour and 10 minutes to talk about anything in the world of sports you want to talk about. We are coming to you live from the Backus and Schenker Studios. Serious lawyers for the seriously injured. The Schomp Mazda text line, one price, one person, 1 hour, 303-504-0925. Text in, say hi to Tyler. Hey, you know what? We've been here for an hour and a half. I have not asked you yet. How was your Christmas?
Yeah. Well, you look like Santa. You're off now.
Yeah.
You had your day. You worked hard. I had a good day, man. It was solid. Had the kids.
It was good. Nice.
Did the gifts. Did all that.
Did you get what you wanted for Christmas?
I did not open a present on Christmas.
Oh, really?
Yeah. No, I did actually.
I mean, what does a former Super Bowl champ and NFL player even want for Christmas?
Just love. That's all. Just love.
Love and affection.
Love and affection. Got a hug or two from the kids, you know. That's all I needed. That fuels me for another year.
All right.
Yeah.
Man.
What'd you get? What'd you open up?
My dad's in town, so I got loaded up with a bunch of good stuff. Yeah, no, I love Christmas is great, man. You can give me all the presents you want.
Heck yeah.
I love it. Spring, how was your Christmas, man? You doing all right? Other than making money today. It did?
Today was good. Christmas sucked.
You had money on those NFL games, didn't you, Spring?
I don't think it was
the
NFL
Nuggets,
game.
bro. What are we doing?
Yeah, that Nugget
come
game.
on.
The Nuggets lost last night in Phoenix. They lost by 10 points in a game that was, here's what's crazy about that game. It was boring. It was not you know what I mean? Like, there was not a whole lot of juice.
Why do they do these back-to-back home games?
Yeah, the home series is weird.
I don't understand that.
Yeah,
like seriously, like they're on the schedule. Like, this is a good idea.
Yeah,
let's make Phoenix go to Denver, Denver go to Phoenix, back-to-back nights.
Why?
Why?
It was weird. The Nuggets house. Well, here, let me ask you this question. Because me and Springer were just having this conversation just like 10 minutes ago. The Nuggets housed the Suns on Monday without Jamal Murray, and then they got beat last night with Jamal Murray. And who was it? Dan Tanner was in here too, and he was popping off. Was it Dan or Springer who was popping off with those stats about how the Nuggets have a better record when Jamal Murray doesn't play right now?
Yeah.
They're 11-11 when he does.
So Scotty actually sent this on our group text.
All right, do your thing.
So they're 11-11 with Jamal, 5-1 without him.
That's crazy, man.
Yeah.
What is that?
They're averaging 124 points per game without him, 117 with him.
That is so weird. What is that? I mean, I don't know what that is. I mean,
they've got literally every single statistical category here for with and without him.
Yeah.
And basically every single category is better without Jamal Murray.
That is so weird. That is so weird to me because there's been some games this season that he has looked good and the Nuggets have played well. I don't think you and I have gotten into this conversation before, and Springer knows this because I have a tendency to overreact. So when the Nuggets lose to like the Washington Wizards, I freak out and I'm like, we got to do something. You got to trade somebody. You got to do it. You know what? And then they house, Atlanta or the Clippers or whatever the next night. I'm like, oh, never mind. Things are looking good. Like they rolled the Suns on Monday and it looked like they were having fun and they were looking like they were playing Nuggets basketball. I was feeling good about it. So where do you stand when it comes to the Nuggets? I've been on the fence this whole time about blowing this team up or keeping this team together. And I think I've come to the point now, the day after Christmas, where I'm like, you got to keep them together. You got to give them one more shot. You got to get them one more shot. And you got, I mean, this is the team that brought the title to this city. You got to give them one more swing once the playoffs come around. I don't think you can overreact to the regular season. You got to give them one more chance to get it done. And then if it doesn't work, things open up a little bit more for you next season where you can make some different moves. But I mean, and Spring knows this. There's been days that I'm clamoring like, you've got to make a move. You've got to just change, like just the change the Avs made, just a little bit of change. You bring in 2 new guys, both in the same position, and all of a sudden they're playing great. They look like a different team. Would the Nuggets be the same kind of way? Where are you on this?
Well, you do the math of what pieces can they actually move, and you're immediately handcuffed. Because there's really only one thing that is a feasible possibility for him, and that's trading Michael Porter Jr.
Yeah.
And I'm the complete opposite of you.
Really?
I think they have no choice but to trade Michael Porter Jr.
Wow.
I mean, things are not right. It's not right. And, of course, it all comes down to Jamal Murray. And we can go through all those stats and all the numbers. And at the end of the day, it's hard to explain it. He's not right. And you can't do anything about it. You literally cannot trade him. Right. In the most literal sense, you cannot trade.
Yeah, you're not
Jamal
allowed
Murray.
to. Right.
So you got to wait until that the new contract hasn't even started. So you got to wait.
Year.
Right.
Next year.
So you're handcuffed. Michael Porter Jr. was asked about it a couple nights ago. He sounded like he was accepting the fact that he's going to be playing for a new team. Mm-hmm. That's what I heard. I don't know what you heard. I thought it was a very mature response.
Yeah, he handled it very, very well. But he's the kind of guy that would handle, like, he's a very cerebral guy. Yeah. So I'm sure he's thought through all of this before, before the rumors started.
He literally used the words grateful. You know, he's grateful for his time here, and he just kind of sounds like he accepts it. Look, man. How do you fix things when you can't? There's no magic button to push to fix Jamal Murray.
Right.
And my question is, as a coach, it feels like with Jamal, it's always like it's so touchy, right? Like don't talk about it. Do you talk about it? Like, do you acknowledge it to him that he's going through the slump, or do you just pat him on the back and say, "Hey, you're going to do great"?
Right.
At what point do you send a message? Like that
tough love?
Yeah, man. I mean, you've got an old school coach. Michael Malone is an old school coach that calls his team. He ain't afraid to call his team soft. Mm-hmm. Matter of fact, he does it all the time.
Yeah.
But when it comes to Jamal, it's like you treat it with kids' gloves. I just wonder if it was any other player, would they have been benched by now?
Ooh, wow. Yeah, but see, it's not just it's the talent. It's also who you gonna put in that starting line. Well, I guess
but it's
Russ.
not about that.
You're right. I guess you put Russ in
what I'm saying is when you've tried the kids' gloves thing, when you've tried patting him on the back, what's the single-handed biggest threat any coach has to get your butt in gear?
Playing time.
Yeah. That's it. And it feels to me like we're dangerously close to needing to do something like it.
Yeah. I've waffled on it all season long. What do you do? Because they just don't look right. There are games where they just look wonky. It doesn't look like, Nuggets basketball anymore. And is it the level of talent? Has the talent dipped since, the championship year 2 seasons ago? Do you have less talent on the team now? Or we were talking about this the other day where we said hope is not a strategy. The one problem is when you're looking at the Nuggets and you're thinking about later in the season and you're like, well, listen, man, Jamal Murray's going to figure it out. He's going to start playing better, or Christian's going to, start scoring a little bit more a game, or Julian, whatever it is. Hope, though, is not a strategy. Just like Bill Parcells said famously years and years ago, you are what your record says you are. And right now, you're the middle of the Western Conference. Well, you're better than that. I think you're 5th in the West right now, but you're tied with the Lakers and the Clippers, and one loss would send you all the way down to 8 or get you all the way up to 4. So you have so many more options next year. So I don't disagree with you saying that, you might have to make a move just to make a move, just to shake up the room.
It just ain't right. That's all I know. It's just not right. And I think that, when you get on in front of a microphone and you're like, yeah, those guys they looked lazy. They looked like they weren't trying. A lot of times I think that's lazy analysis, right? Mm-hmm. I don't know any other way to put it than when you looked at that last night, did that just not look like an uninspired bunch?
Effort. There has been some times, especially at start of games during this season, where it feels like the effort isn't there. And sometimes it feels like Joker's looking around like, what the hell, guys? Come with me, please. Come with me. Where's the effort? Where's the energy to start these games. I know it's the regular season. I know there's 82 of these things. I know it becomes a grind, but there's the Denver Nuggets are in the middle of this pack. And for me, I was saying early in the season, I was like, listen, the Western Conference is stupid nasty. There's a bunch of really great teams. And now I'm starting to think in the Western Conference, there are no great teams. There's just a bunch of good teams. And who's going to be the best team at the end of that? You know what I mean? Like, everybody's jockeying for position right now. And I don't think there's a truly great team in the West. Matter of fact, I don't think there's a great team in the NBA right now. Like, you can't talk me into the Cavs, the Celtics. Mm-hmm. We're going to see Cleveland in town against the Nuggets tomorrow. So that'll be interesting. That's a measuring stick game. But I think the Western Conference is good, not great, but you have a bunch of good there. And if you're the Nuggets, you got to get to that great territory. You got to get to that great territory. And what does it take? Does it take a trade?
Well, in the irony of the Michael Porter Jr. conversation, I can make an argument that I like this version of Michael Porter Jr. this year the most of any year I've ever watched him play basketball.
He's a really good player you're going to trade if you trade him. He's a really good player.
He's a different player this year. He's creating shots. He's more aggressive in the paint. Arguably, you need him to take more three-point shots, and which is the one thing that we've always had from him as a spot shooter. But we're sitting here talking about trading away Michael Porter Jr., and I kind of like this version of him the most I've ever liked him. Ever.
Yeah.
But it's what you got. It's your only option.
And one final question before we go to our first break here, and then talk some NFL football with Spring at the top here. As a former player, how does it feel in the room when there's guys who aren't performing well enough, or at least well enough that the coaching in the front office thinks of, and it's not going to cost you your job, but it's going to cost a teammate their job? Because you know what? There's some guys on the Nuggets who, if they were playing better now, Michael Porter Jr. would not be on the trading block. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, to be very specific, what you're saying is Jamal Murray is going to cause Michael Porter Jr. to get traded.
Yes, because he's the only person that can be traded on that team right now that has value.
Yeah, I think it really depends on what the internal belief is on Jamal Murray.
Okay.
And I think that team really does believe in him. I think those guys in that locker room really do believe in him.
Right.
So if you were to ask anybody in that locker room, I bet you they would say, "Yeah, we want to run this thing back, like as is."
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I kind of do too. But we got to go. We could talk about this forever, and we will later in the program. But it's just such a tough, because I don't know if that's the right answer. I don't know if it's the right answer to make a move just to make a move, or make a move to shake up the room. But you also have to say to yourself, like, you have the best player in basketball on your team, and you cannot give up a season for a chance at a title just because you just don't. You're not sure. You got to go one way or the other. You got to make a decision.
Yep.
But how long do you think the Nuggets can wait till they make that decision? The NBA trade deadline is in February, so you got some time. But
you don't have time.
Well, I guess we got to. Oh, you're right. It's the first of the year, basically.
Yeah, you don't have much time.
You got like 3 weeks to make a decision.
Yeah.
2.5 weeks, something like that, to figure it out and to find a deal that you want.
And I mean, it's not just 3 weeks, but it's the pressure of those 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Like you just said, like what happens if they drop one game?
Yeah, they all of a sudden you're down in the
which doesn't mean, like, I'm not trying to make too much of that. But
no. If they, you know what they do? Here's how close the Western Conference is right now. If they drop 2 games in a row, they're out of the playoffs completely. They're out of the play-in completely. The Golden State Warriors at 15 and 14 have the final play-in spot right now. And the Golden State Warriors are so freaked out. They had a players-only meeting yesterday before that Christmas Day game. Like, Steph Curry got everybody together and was like, we got to talk about this. What the hell are we doing here? And I'm like, man, are the Nuggets in the same position as the Warriors, where they just need to sit down and go, what the hell's going on here? Either way. All right. We're talking too much. We got to take our first time out of the program. That's Tyler Columbus. Mark Springer's in the house. I'm Mark. We got to
get a break.
We'll be right back here on Altitude Sports Radio. Kreckman and Lindahl roll on. Without Kreckman or Lindahl, I have no idea what either one of those guys are doing today. But
nothing.
Welcome, Tyler Polumbus and Mark Bernoli coming to you live from the Baxter Shanker Studios. It is time right now for what the people always want. They always ask for. It
high
is
five.
The high five.
High five.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. High five. Boxing Day High Five is brought to you by Bet365. Whatever the moment, it is never ordinary at Bet365. Hey, we have a big professional football game on Saturday at 2:30. The Broncos are in Cincinnati to take on the Bengals. The Broncos can clinch a playoff spot with a win. Injury notes for Denver here on this Thursday. Running back Tyler Bidet has been designated to return from IR. He's been out since week 4 with a back injury. The win over the Jets, Bidet got hurt. He's been a full participant in practice every day this week, but he is listed as questionable to play in that game. Wide receiver Troy Franklin's on the injury report, but he's going to play. He's been full practice all week. Jaleel McLaughlin has practiced in full the last 2 days. He is going to play. And another roster note, the Broncos waived cornerback Levi Wallace. That is because Riley Moss has been a full participant in practice every day this week, including today. Looks like he's going to play. Here's Sean Payton today.
He's doing good. Yeah, he'll be ready to go.
Is it still supposed to be like a monsoon in Cincinnati on Saturday?
Yep.
Is it just supposed to be nasty weather?
They're talking about bringing special footballs for it. I don't know what special football you use for for the rain, but they said they used the wrong footballs when they played against the Jets, and they're going to use the right footballs this time.
Interesting.
That was the problem.
I heard Sean Payton talk about they practice for the wet weather. They get the balls wet and make them practice with the wet balls and stuff.
Yeah. So, all right, there's a few things in there, though. First off, Levi Wallace. That dude was supposed to be our starting corner at one point this season. Like in free agency, they signed him to be the starting corner. Then Riley Moss is like, nah, that's my job.
Yep.
I'm going to take that sucker over. He gets exposed when Riley Moss is out and gets
it made Riley Moss money, more money.
There you go, and gets cut. Tyler Bidet's return, that's good for the Denver Broncos. I don't know if you remember in that Jets game, but they were starting to feature him more than Javonte Williams, and then he goes down. So I don't know what the rotation's going to be. Like Audric Estime, man, is that dude in the doghouse? Does he fumble at practice? Does he sleep with the coach's wife? I don't know. Like what's that dude doing? Because they will not feature him. Do you remember the first drive? It was like Audric Estime, Javonte Williams, Marvin Mims, Blake Watson. Like they went to like 5 dudes in the first series, and it all worked. I would expect Tyler Bidet will get plenty of action.
I don't know, man. Sean Payton just can't help himself. He will run the ball in the first half, and then he just can't. He's like, let's launch. Although, I mean, the Chiefs rolled yesterday, and they didn't run the ball at all. Like, there's hardly
we ain't the Chiefs.
yeah, that's true. That's true. All right, Spring, what's next?
High five.
Hey, former Broncos pass rusher Shaq Barrett is 32 years old, and in the offseason, he signed a 1-year deal with the Miami Dolphins. But then he said, psych, I'm going to retire. That's after he signed the deal. But then a few weeks ago, Shaq said, double psych, I want to play again. And the Dolphins thought about it. And the Dolphins are all but out of contention in the AFC, and they are not going to activate Shaq Barrett. They are going to waive him. And if Shaq Barrett clears waivers, he'll be eligible to sign with any team and be eligible to play with them in the postseason.
I bet somebody picks him up. I do. He's a good football player, man. That's a nice little veteran addition for a playoff team that's trying to make a run.
You're not nervous, though? A team might think he'd do the same, where he's like, yeah, never mind, I'm going to retire again.
Nah, I mean, he's good for, like, the playoff run. That's all he wants to do. He just wants to get back on with a contender. Miami pulled some BS on him, though, because he tried to come back 4 or 5 weeks ago. And they're like, yeah, you don't get to do that.
Really?
Not only are you not going to we're not going to activate you on our roster, but we're not going to cut you either so you can go play anywhere else. So they literally just squatted on him and refused to let him play, and I guess now they're going to finally let him go.
Did he get that signing bonus? Because that's a $5.5 million signing bonus he got for that 1-year deal.
Is that right?
Yeah, it was a $7 million contract, but the signing bonus was most of the money. It was 5.5 of the $7 million. So I'm wondering if he got the signing bonus.
Nah,
Or if-
he would have to give that back.
Yeah, when he announced his retirement.
Yeah.
But now that he's coming, he doesn't get any of it though. So now that he's coming back, they're just going to cut him. So he gets none of that $7 million and none of that $5 million signing bonus.
I want to be at a point in life where I can just be like, I don't really want $5.5
Right,
million.
like 5.5. I'm good, man. I'm set.
I
I'm
don't
set.
want that. Yeah.
Nah, you got to be good like Springer to do that. Get that kind of cash.
Do the Broncos need a depth pass rusher? Probably not.
Nah, not one at 32, 33 years old.
About the
Although
one, that's
Jonah
about the one
Ellis,
spot we're
Jonah
pretty
Ellis
good.
has been good.
You know what? There was a point in time where I was like, man, Shaq Barrett is killing this league. He was
Yeah.
like just sacking quarterbacks left and right.
Yeah.
Last year, though, he only had, what was it? Last year, he had 4.5 sacks, something like that, which is not, I mean, I was thinking there was time. I was like, this dude's going to be averaging
No,
15
but you
sacks.
put him in the right spot with the right team where all he needs is 1 or 2 timely sacks in the postseason, and it's
Yeah, and he's
worth
paid
the
for
addition.
him. Right.
Yeah.
And you're right, man. Somebody's going to
I'll tell you who will sign him.
Who?
The Chiefs.
Probably.
Shaq's going to get him in.
Yeah. You're not.
gonna
Hey,
get a
he's not
title.
wrong.
All right, Spring, what's next?
That's exactly what the Chiefs do.
No, it sounds like a good idea. It's
They
probably going to
brought
work out for
Kareem
him.
Hunt. Kareem Hunt was on his couch, and it was just like, hey,
Yeah, Shaq's
you're
been
scoring
on his-
touchdowns
yep.
now.
Yeah. CSU Ramy's going to get himself another NFL Super Bowl title. All right,
Yeah.
Spring, what's next?
High five.
Maybe he could sign with the Lions. I don't know. I mean, Aiden Hutchinson says he'll be back by the Super Bowl. I got Lions news for you.
Oh.
So Teddy Bridgewater, much like Shaq Barrett, had retired, but he's unretiring. And he last played for the Lions, so he is going to rejoin the Lions. He's going to join their practice squad, but it appears that as the playoffs start, Teddy Bridgewater, fresh off of coaching a high school football team, that's what he was doing this fall. He is going to back up Jared Goff.
They don't trust Hendon Hooker? Who's the backup?
It's Hendon Hooker, yeah. They'd rather go with the veteran Bridgewater, apparently, who hasn't played all season. Also for the Lions, they have Monday Night Football in San Francisco. Another NFC North, the big one this Saturday afternoon, the Vikings host the Packers. So if the Vikings win this game, it actually means that the result of Lions-Niners means absolutely nothing. That Lions-Vikings in the finale, in the final week of the season, will be for the NFC North no matter what. Now, if the Vikings lose this game, the Lions could clinch with a win over the Niners, so they would try to win that game. But if the Vikings lose, there's actually nothing for the Lions to play for on Monday night. But here's what Dan Campbell said about that.
Yeah, I'll make this easy for everybody. That way all the critics can jump out and start attacking. But that way you don't have to debate them anymore. We're bringing everything we got to this game, and we are playing, and I don't care what it looks like and where it's at or who's this, who's that. We're going out to play and win this game out on the West Coast. So there you go.
There you go.
You're a football guy, so you love that answer,
Oh,
right?
I love me some Dan Campbell.
see-
Dan Campbell's an idiot, and I love him.
Yeah, he is-
I love the dude. I'll run through a brick wall for the dude.
Yeah.
He's an idiot. He's officially done some things this year that I'm like,
Yeah, that was that was a crazy
like
decision.
I can't explain why I still like you, but I love you.
But, because he's going to go full bore. Like, they're going to load up against the Niners and probably smash San Francisco in San
Dude,
Francisco.
isn't that wild? They're 13-2. They don't have it locked up yet.
Yeah, that is wild. This Packers-Vikings game this weekend is going to be great, right? It's going to be great.
Yep.
That's a great game. But the question is which coach is right? Andy Reid, who ain't going to play anybody against the Broncos in that last game of the season, or Dan Campbell, who could rest a bunch of people if they had nothing to play for on Monday, but instead is like, nah.
Well, I think context matters a lot here. So what a lot of casual fans don't understand about Detroit right now, they're 13-2, but they're falling apart. They've got an entire practice squad that is playing defense for them. They've lost every starter on defense. Like everybody is out on that defense. And Dan Campbell's feeling that. Like that's why he's making all these insane decisions, because he knows he does not have a defense out there. So although they're crazy, like go for the onside kick way too early decisions, he's doing it because he understands what it is. So he's trying to have good vibes. The Chiefs, on the other hand, man, they're playing their third game in 10 days.
Yeah. That was stupid.
Even if they didn't lock it up, I wonder if they would have rested their guys anyways, just because it was the third game in 10 days.
Yeah, and you know what? The NFL is going to do that a lot more, especially when we get that 18th game and how popular like those Christmas Day games were and all that. They're going to
Suck
add
it, LeBron.
They're There's going to be a whole bunch of NFL teams in the coming years who are going to have to do that thing where they play 3 games and 11 nights and all that kind of nonsense because the NFL's just taking more and more. They're going to throw games on Thursday, on Wednesday, on Saturday. Yeah.
3 games in 10 days is insane, though.
It's wild.
That's
wild.
insane.
But they're at 15 wins. The Chiefs have 15. Have the Broncos ever won 15 games in a season?
I doubt it. I don't think so.
The second Super Bowl year,
They went 15
they
and
lost
1.
2 down the stretch.
Like I get you get an extra game, so you're going to have better records. But I don't think the Broncos have ever won. The Chiefs broke their own record yesterday. That's the most games. The Broncos' best regular season record was 13-3 in 2013. So so 13 is the most the Broncos have ever won in the regular season. 15 wins in the regular season is stupid. And remember how people were like, I don't know, I think they're a fraud. I think they're winning these. They're just luck, man. They just got a rabbit's
Dude,
foot.
having Hollywood Brown back, like
It makes a difference.
they got him, they got Hopkins, Worthy, and Kelsey's playing better of late. Like there's weapons around for Patrick right now.
Guys, they're good at football. Yeah.
But see, man, everybody, there was doubters. Spring, you were a doubter. You doubted the
I was
Chiefs.
a doubter while realizing that it wouldn't matter. Like I could doubt them all I wanted. Like I learned my lesson last year.
Nah, D-Mac was a doubter. He's
Was
like,
he?
these guys are terrible.
Frauds,
They're
frauds.
going down, bunch of frauds. Like,
No.
dude, they don't lose.
Yeah.
That's what
Here's
Kreckman was saying,
You know,
too.
yesterday, the thing that I guess surprised me the most is, damn, that defense is a lot better than I thought. You know what I mean? Like, you think of the Chiefs and you're like, man, that's just Mahomes doing Mahomes thing. You're like, no, that defense is good.
Yep.
That is a good Chiefs defense. They're going to go so deep into the play. All right, Spring, what's next?
High five.
Okay, and thank you, text line. The 98-99 Broncos went 14-2.
Oh, really?
And that's what. Yeah, they were
Damn
undefeated.
you, Google.
They were undefeated until late in the season. They lost a couple games, and then they cruised to a Super Bowl, and then John Elway retired into the sunset.
Yeah, I remember.
Deshaun Jackson is your new head coach
Yeah,
at
yeah.
Delaware
This is great.
State
This is
University.
Like, what is going on? So Deion Sanders becomes a head coach, and now everybody's like, hey, let's just hire random former players that have got no experience doing anything.
I know,
Like,
I
like
would've
they've never been a coach, a GA. They've never, like, let's just head coach. Let's go. Mike Vick, let's go. Norfolk State.
No,
Deshaun Jackson.
I promise you, if I gave you a list of players that I thought you should never make a head coach, Deshaun Jackson would be on that list.
Look,
Deshaun Jackson would be on that list.
I was teammates with Deshaun for 2 years. Let me tell you how many head coach traits he gives me.
How many?
That's a goose egg. Like again, I'm not trying to take a shot at the dude. I'm
I get it,
honestly
man.
not.
No,
And,
I get it.
Yeah, he knows ball, but look, also it's not just like that. It's Deshaun. It's a wide receiver.
Yeah, I'm saying I'm with you, brother.
If there's ever been a position that I trust less than any other position
Yes.
to understand the full game,
Yes, it's wide receiver.
receivers.
I am with you on that. Yes, I'm exactly on you like that. Don't make wide receivers head coaches. Don't do it. It's going to fail miserably. All right, Spring.
High five.
And finally, hey, our stretch of consecutive days with football continues. We have Thursday Night Football tonight. The Seahawks are in Chicago. The Seahawks need to win to keep their season alive, to keep their hopes at winning the NFC West alive, even though the Rams definitely have the inside track on that. For Seattle, they have placed running back Kenneth Walker on IR, so they'll be without him tonight and the foreseeable future.
Geno Smith, man. Geno Smith. How many more years? Geno has one more year on his contract. Is he going to, is Seattle good with Geno Smith being there? Hey, speaking of which, something completely off topic. Your man Pete Carroll
Pete Carroll.
looking for a gig coaching the Chicago Bears?
Don't tell Mike Florio
Yeah,
that.
Florio's all angry that Schefter broke that. I don't understand why you getting so
Florio-
sensitive, Florio.
That was a weird one.
Yeah.
So Schefter puts out this tweet that Pete Carroll wants to get back in the NFL.
Yeah.
Specifically, he's interested in the Bears job. And Florio writes this whole article like, well, Schefter's getting used by Pete Carroll's agent, and this is the way it works. The agent's telling him, and he's just a puppet for Pete Carroll's agent. I'm like, who cares?
Right, who
Pete Carroll
cares?
wants back in the NFL. Like,
Right.
what's the big deal
That's
on
what
this
I was
one?
like, Florio, is the information wrong? And no. So what are you so angry about Schefter getting
Yeah.
info from? Yeah, I don't get. Yeah, that was weird. Florio, you know what? He's sensitive too. What the heck, man? Just a little too sensitive.
I'll tell you this: if Bill Belichick can find another job, Pete Carroll should.
Yeah. I don't know if it's going to be in Chicago. People love Pete Carroll.
You would think if we were breaking that one down for a second, you would think Chicago is going to look for a young offensive mind
right,
to be with,
to hang with Caleb and
forever.
grow up with Caleb.
Pete's an old defensive mind.
I have never asked you this question, but I will right now. Who's your favorite coach ever and why?
Mike Shanahan's my favorite coach.
Okay.
I mean, first off, he was loyal to me.
Yeah.
He took me everywhere, or one of his disciples took me everywhere. I'll tell you the most fun coach I ever had, Dan Quinn.
Really?
I played for Pete Carroll and Dan Quinn. And Dan Quinn is the exact same environment of Pete Carroll, but I just trust him a little bit more.
Okay.
Pete's got it's just a little like.
Little snake oil, a little slick, a little too slick.
Yes, that's strong, but yeah, a little bit.
Okay.
A little bit, you know?
Okay, that's interesting.
Yeah,
No, that's good. That's good. That's good. Ringing the new year with Safeway. They make it easy to prepare with party platters, cheese trays, cakes, and sweets. Get started with easy delivery or free pickup at Safeway.com or in the Safeway app. We'll be right back. Thanks for listening to Lindahl and Kreckman. Welcome back to Kreckman and Lindahl. It's Springer. Do I have to say Kreckman? Like I said, Lindahl and Kreckman.
Yeah, you didn't do it right.
Is that not right?
No,
not
that's
right?
fine. I liked it, actually.
See? But I think Kreckman will get angry if we put Andy's name first. Right? Isn't it like that's top billing right there, brother?
Hey,
right?
I am
like,
the,
there's a
I am
reason.
the, I am the P
I
in
was about to say,
PhD. You know,
there's a reason it's called PhD.
I don't want to make a big deal out of this, but
Right.
that
No.
P does come first.
There is a reason that it's Columbus, Hastings, and DMAC, none of which is working today except for Tyler. You working tomorrow too, right?
Yeah, man.
So-
I'm doing this show again tomorrow.
Bring in.
Is tomorrow Kreckman and Lindahl also? Is it
Is he?
technically
Yes,
Kreckman
I think
and Lindahl?
I think you are Kreckman and Lindahl tomorrow as well.
Okay.
You're going
I
to be
think
both.
I think it's being DMAC.
Okay.
And actually, Mike Sanford might make an appearance
Okay, Coach is
Yeah.
going to be down here. All right.
for a whole 45-minute show. 'Cause
Yeah,
we got a bowl game that goes to about 5:30 tomorrow.
yeah. You know what's going to happen? It's going to be just like today. That bowl game ran an hour and 40 minutes later. So
Hey, you guys should have seen Berto and I behind the scenes.
we
the
were
other day.
cheering for
Oh
man.
my gosh, we're like, we got one overtime. Let's go. Whoa, we got two. Oh, let's go.
That game was drunk. That game was so drunk. I can't believe it, man. But that's why. I mean, we were also talking about the ratings between the
man.
NBA Christmas game and the Netflix game because I keep searching to see how many people actually watched those games yesterday.
Schefter just put it out.
Oh, did he? He's got it. What does Shefty say?
So it was way less than what you told me. What
Right,
you told me
Netflix.
was like
Netflix said 282 million globally had seen a part of the game at some point that day.
okay. Schefter put out 65 million, which
Okay.
is still pretty
Which is
insane.
Stupid.
Yeah,
Stupid. That's
so,
like-
all right. So they paid 150 million dollars for that.
Wow. Well, I guess that's
What-
not
what-
much for Netflix,
well,
right?
Well, I guess I don't know. 150 million dollars for that, and of those 65 million, I mean, you got to think at least maybe 10 million of those are new customers, right?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
they're
yeah.
going to subscribe for that 1 month or whatever, and then all of a sudden they're stuck in that thing that they forget about for the next 3 years.
Yeah. Listen, so yeah, it was two games that weren't great. I mean, the Chiefs
Dude,
hammered the
but hold on.
Steelers.
Am I just an idiot or what? Because I'm watching that first game.
Yeah.
And the first game was the Chiefs, right? And so that one ends.
Oh, that's
And
right.
then-
My man Tyler was technically unprepared for Netflix.
I could not figure out for the life of me how to watch the second game.
Yeah, you were turning the TV off and back on. And,
Well, because it was the same stream. It was the same stream. It was supposed to go from the first one to the second one.
Yeah.
But it kept replaying the Chiefs game. So I exited out of the Netflix app, come back in, Chiefs game. Turn the TV off all the way, get it back in, Chiefs game. So I'm like, all right, screw it. I guess I'm not watching the Baltimore Ravens play. I didn't see a second of that game because I couldn't figure out how to watch it.
the Ravens rolled in that one too. But yes, I'm sure there was numerous people. I'm sure there was hundreds of thousands of people who were just like you, who was like, what's going on
Dude,
here?
I swear that was not on me. I tried to figure that thing out for like 30 minutes.
Well, listen, man, it all worked out in the end. And that's 65 million people. What do you think about? So yesterday, LeBron was like, listen, man, Christmas is an NBA day.
Sorry, Bron, you're wrong now.
That's what I was saying.
It's
I
over.
was like, listen, this is America, baby. You are what your record says you are. You are the ratings that you get. And if 65 million people are tuning in to watch the NFL, you're not going to beat that number
First
in
off,
the NBA.
So NBA had a chance to make that day theirs forever, and they tried to a little bit. But if they would have just started their season on Christmas Day,
Yeah.
they would have owned that forever, which they probably should do.
They should.
And they still should do it.
I've been banging the drum for that forever, man. Forever. Start the season on Christmas. Cut
Hey,
about
if
15 games
people aren't
out of
going
the
to watch
season.
until Christmas Day, then
Yeah.
okay, start the season on Christmas
And
Day.
if you have to, you're crowning a champion. Like the playoffs would be during the summer. The whole summer would be the playoffs.
Yeah.
You wouldn't have to deal with the NHL playoffs would be going on there, but they'd end before you were done. So you'd have the only thing going on would be regular season baseball and the NBA finals, man.
Yeah, but
do
sorry,
it.
Yeah, but Braun, sorry, buddy, you're wrong.
Yeah, he's wrong.
It's all over now.
He's wrong because
I
the
mean-
NFL's never not going to have a Christmas Day game now.
Certainly not trying to take a shot at our own Denver Nuggets here. But we were talking about like what do you think the viewership was of that?
It's I don't know 4 million. I don't know. It's
Right.
probably not. I mean, it was
65 million versus 3 or 4.
It's not great. I mean, that's still a fairly decent number. But the problem was that game was boring. Like it was not a fun game when the Nuggets lost to the Suns last night. It did not have that special day juice to it, like special
I don't know.
event
Football
stuff.
on Christmas felt right. It just felt normal to me.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
don't know why.
Beyonce at halftime doing
it
it,
actually
yeah.
blows my mind that they haven't,
They haven't
done
done this before. Yeah. And then now they will do it every single Christmas from here on out, especially when they go to 18 games. Why not? Matter of fact, knowing the NFL, they'll get sneaky and throw like 3 games on Christmas. They'll be like, you know what, 2 was great. Let's add one more. Let's add one more. But once again, as a player, you cool playing 3 games in 11 days, brother.
No, but hopefully in the future, not that I would want an extra game, but it's happening,
Yeah.
right? So they're
Yeah.
going to get an extra game, and with that extra game will come an extra bye week. So hopefully now with 2 bye weeks, they can be more strategic about that. 3 games in 10 days like the Chiefs have right now, that's asinine.
Yeah.
Asinine.
Yeah. I mean, you're going to get people hurt doing that. You know what I mean? You're
Yep.
going to wreck teams playing that many games in that few amount of time. It's just not going to work out. So the Chiefs win yesterday. They beat the Steelers. And Pittsburgh has lost 3 games in a row, but they've lost 3 games in a row to pretty good teams. So I don't know if you're going to freak out if you're a Steelers fan. You're freaking out?
Well, homeboy's done.
Oh, you talk about our man?
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
we were just having the conversation. Do you think Pittsburgh's like, we might have to sign him? We might have to sign him to a contract.
I think they were thinking that way. I do.
And now
I
they're
don't
like-
think they're thinking that way anymore.
They're like, nah, Russ ain't the man.
He's cooked, man. It is over for Russell Wilson.
That interception was fairly large, but I mean, they still won 10 games. They won I don't know. Justin Fields started the beginning of the season.
I mean, they can't
but,
pay that man. Come on.
Yeah.
They can't pay. Can they?
No, I don't know. But that's what they have to be asking themselves right now. What are we going to do at the quarterback position? Because Justin Fields ain't the answer. Is Russell Wilson the answer? Or are we just going to have to go get one?
Mike Tomlin wins 10 games with literally anybody.
He can fall off the bus.
Kenny
and
Pickett can win 10 games for them.
Yeah. But you got to, I mean, the problem with the Steelers is that you get to the playoffs and you get housed or you get bounced, and all of a sudden you're like the George Carlin Nuggets where you look great in the regular season, but you can't move on in the playoffs. And I don't know, man. I don't know what the Steelers are going to do. The Ravens hammer the Texans. The Texans are in the playoffs despite just getting 2 points yesterday because of that, for tackling Derrick Henry in the end zone. And the Ravens put up 31. You know what? What's that fastest you think you've ever run on a football field? Because you did track down. When you were in Seattle, who was it? You ran. Was it
Beastquake.
Yeah. How fast? Because they clocked Lamar Jackson at almost 22 miles an hour on that 48-yard touchdown run he had.
Yeah, I probably hit 5 or 6 once.
Man, you had some speed. You were getting downfield, brother.
5 or 6.
Did you have to run the 40 at the combine?
Yeah.
What
you
was
know what
it?
I did?
4.7.
No.
You tore. You twisted an ankle. You
Keep going.
pulled a hamstring.
Keep going.
You you tore an AC? What'd you do?
Keep
You
going.
fell down.
Yep.
Yes. Do you bite it? How did you feel?
Okay,
What
so
were
check
the
this out.
emotions
All right.
to go into your brain?
All right, so check this out. So I was never like a big, strong dude.
Yeah.
I played football like basketball, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like I was a better athlete. I beat you from point A to point B. So my goal was to have the highest vertical at the combine. I got the second highest.
That's okay.
My goal was to have the best broad jump at the combine. I got that.
All right.
My goal was to be top 3 in the 40. And then I knew I was going to suck on the bench press. I knew I was going to suck on everything else,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
But I get to the combine, and first thing I do was vert and broad jump. And then third thing was the 40. And then I got everything else to do after that, right? So I'm like, all right, this is my time to shine, right? Like, it's not going to be bench press, it's 40. So I get out, man, and I'm rolling. I mean, that 10-yard, that thing must have been solid, right? Dude, I swear to God, I had like my life flashing before my eyes for about 20 yards because I'm rolling and like I can just feel all my momentum's going forward.
Yeah.
And I'm like, please don't fall. Please do not fall. The finish line is right there. Boom.
Oh.
Face slides underneath that thing. Dude. So when I fall, I swear to God, I'm laying on the ground and I'm like, you got to fake an injury. Right? Like
right. You got to play it off, man.
there's got to be a reason why
Right.
you just fell. You
Right.
cannot just fall. Like, you can't just fall. A dude before me fell. He had a hamstring. That was fine. The dude popped his hamstring. No worries. He fell. So I'm laying on that ground. I'm like, what do I do? What do I do? I got up. I finished the day. I didn't fake an injury. I should have. I swear to God, I should have faked an injury or something. And I was rattled. I ran like a 5. I was trying to run a 4.9.
Oh, that would have
And-
been awesome.
Right. And so you get 2 attempts at it.
Yeah.
That one counted. Now on the second one, I'm all rattled.
Yeah,
you know?
you're freaked out. You're
Yeah.
like, don't fall, don't fall, don't fall.
I ran like a 5.3. So I did much better at my pro day. I ran like a 5.09. Didn't get that 4.9 that I wanted. But yeah, my time at the combine was like a 5.3 and I face planted.
That'd be tough when you looked up because that's every single GM in
check
the
this
NFL.
out.
What
Oh,
happened?
yo, you're right. You're right.
Every single GM is like,
Every head coach, every GM, every scout.
they're all staring at
a-
you.
Anybody that means anything to my future is all watching me fall in my 40.
Yeah.
So I get back to Denver. Literally walking through DIA Airport.
Yeah.
You know, I'm local boy, do good at the combine, right? Front page of the Denver sports section,
No.
full-size photo.
No.
Mount Columbus face planting
No.
on the 40.
No. The Post put you in the paper.
front page of the sports section.
Oh, dog.
Oh, yeah.
Who wrote that article? Did you ever been like, yo, Cliff, man, what the hell? Or
I
whoever
know.
it was, you were like, what was that about, man?
I know.
Do you have that saved somewhere?
My mom kept it somewhere.
That's rough, man. Man, I had no idea. That's awesome. That's
Yeah,
awesome. Yeah.
yeah.
I would have been a tad bit nervous. I bet you that place was dead quiet. They're like, oh,
Yep.
down goes Columbus, man.
Yep.
Mount Columbus Falls.
Yep.
That is tough. All right. Well, that's great. I love those kind of stories. Let's take another quick time
I
out. We'll
made
be
it
right
8
back.
years, baby.
Yeah. Listen, man. You got that ring? You got that title? You're doing all right? We'll be right back. Thanks for listening to Kreckman and Lindahl. Welcome back to the last segment of Kreckman and Lindahl on this Thursday, December the 26th. This segment is brought to you by Good Times Bambino Burgers. They're legendary in Colorado. In fact, they're so popular, Good Times has decided to up their Bambino game with the all-new Bambino, the Bambino Supremo. With bacon, melted white American cheese, and, of course, all-natural beef. The new Bambino Supremo for a limited time at Good Times. I like Good Times. I will house me some Good Times, brother.
Bambino Supremo.
The Bambino Supremo. I mean, how you do like?
Hey, what were we just bumping into right there, Spring?
Yeah, what
With
was
some jams.
Was that a
Is
little
that
like
like-
EDM or like what?
Springer is
Keep it
a
light. Come on.
like part-time DJ.
Okay.
Like you'll see Springer at the club spinning
right?
the ones and twos.
Like-
every
No,
once in a while.
that's not true.
Oh, it's not.
No.
Yeah.
Just making
I
it
hit
sound
play on an iPod. That's what I did.
Yeah.
good. Tyler had 4 Krispy Kreme donuts and like a gallon of cherry Coke,
Yeah.
and you're doing all right, man. I thought you'd be just flying off the handle.
I'm just trying to get some diabetes. That's all. Yeah. No. So here's the problem. I was at Walmart actually. That's where I got those Krispy Kreme.
You were at Walmart the day after Christmas, brother.
I was at Walmart today because my daughter she scratched too hard on a gift card and she couldn't see the code. And I'm like, hey, could you give me a new gift card? And shockingly, they actually
They're
gave me
like,
a new one.
sure.
Yeah,
Okay,
they actually
nice.
did. But then I saw these Krispy Kreme. And I'm like, well, I got to give me some Krispy Kreme. Naturally, I had to have 2 on my way over. Had a couple more. Yeah, 4 of them things later.
Listen, I love Krispy Kreme. That stuff is delicious. Stuff there is delicious. Matter of fact, and there's one like right down the block here. I should eat it more than I actually
Oh,
do.
there's a fresh Krispy Kreme. That is still the best donut.
Yeah. When they hit that light, whatever that light is like
Yeah.
fresh donuts. Bam.
Yeah.
Yeah. They Krispy Kreme donuts, just American excellence right there. All right, I want to ask you. We just got a couple of minutes left here in the program. Let me ask you first. Seahawks Bears tonight.
Mm-hmm.
Which way you leaning on that one? Like, and then when it comes to the Bears, we were talking about Pete Carroll maybe coaching that team. What does Chicago do? Like, you know what's crazy at this point? When we start talking about those 6 quarterbacks that were drafted last year in the top 12, Caleb's probably in the middle of the pack right now, even though he might have the highest ceiling because of that talent. But how do you think Caleb Williams has looked this year for the Chicago Bears?
So if you were to do the draft over today,
Yeah, Jaden goes 1.
Jaden goes 1. Drake May goes 2.
Yeah.
Then I think it gets interesting.
Yeah.
Now what happens at 3? Is it probably still Caleb's just based off of the potential and all that?
just what could be. Just what could be.
I think.
Then you get to JJ, Mike Penix, and Bo Nix, and where do you put those guys?
Oh, I think Bo would be the next off the board.
Okay.
I do. I mean, you just don't know. You don't know anything about the other 2 yet.
Right.
I
Penix has
love
looked
me.
good in like
I love me.
a
Michael
game and a
Penix.
quarter, but
Dude, when he came in he came in for a minute in that Broncos game.
yes,
right?
he did. Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah.
When the Broncos were
He had,
hammering
he had
him,
like 2 throws.
Yeah.
And in that first throw, I was like, oh, that looks different.
Mm-hmm.
That arm looks different than Bo Nix's arm. But I like Bo Nix, and I do think he'd be the next quarterback out the board.
Mm-hmm. No, you're probably right.
I don't know what all the stats say, but somebody said that Caleb actually has got better stats than Bo Nix this year. Is that right?
I can look, but I mean, he might, because what Caleb does do is launch. He has nailed some. But let's see what stats he's looking. Because I was looking at Joe Burrow's numbers, and they're you know what? These are pretty good numbers. Caleb Williams, 3,271 yards,
Okay.
which is right in the middle of the NFL.
I got Bo Nix here, so he's slightly got Bo. Bo's got 3,235.
Okay, so just a little bit more. He's got 19 touchdown passes,
Bo's got 22,
and he's got 5 interceptions.
and Bo's got 11.
Yeah, the interception is a big difference.
Yeah,
but
that would be a better statistical season than Bo Nix.
yeah, but yeah,
because of the interceptions.
Caleb has not been as good as I thought he was going to be in
Wow,
his
he's only
first
got,
year.
but he's only got 5 interceptions.
Only 5 picks, yeah.
That's actually pretty damn good.
Yeah, only 5 picks, because you don't turn the ball over and you can win in this league. So yes, that's a good deal. But yeah, if we did
So
this
why
draft
is he
again,
getting
would be-
crapped on so hard?
I don't know, because they've got 4 wins, I guess.
Yeah.
Right? Maybe that's what it is. And I mean,
Bo Nix
the Bears'
is getting
offense
Bo
is
Nix is
great.
getting nothing but praise.
Yes, Bo gets a lot of. Well, I think he gets a lot of love, but I don't think there's he's not going to win the offensive rookie of the year. And we were talking about how Jeff Saturday got on the radio, or he got on the television and was like, "Ain't nobody want to watch Bo Nix in the playoffs if you can get Joe Burrow instead." And I was
mean,
like,
he's probably not wrong.
I was like, I get it. I get what you're saying,
if you're not a Denver Broncos fan, who would you rather watch?
Right,
Joe Burrow
because,
or Bo Nix?
Well, I mean, look at Joe Burrow's numbers. They're stupid. We were just talking about
that's
3,000.
insane.
Is he at 5,000 yards passing or something right now?
I don't understand how they don't win every game. They score 30 points in every game they play.
Joe Burrow is at 4,229 yards passing. That's the most in the NFL. And he's got 2 more games to get that to about 4,600. He's got 39 touchdown passes and 8 interceptions.
God, how bad is that defense?
They're terrible. That defense is terrible. They're going to spend so much money making that defense better, and then Cincinnati's going to be looking pretty good. But Joe Burrow, like if they had 2 more wins, Joe Burrow would be the runaway MVP. I mean, despite what Lamar did yesterday and what Josh Allen's been doing all season and what Saquon's been doing, you cannot match up to those Joe Burrow numbers. How many points is Cincinnati going to put on Denver on Saturday? How many points is Bo Nix going to have to get so they can clinch a playoff spot?
So this once vaunted Denver Broncos defense, do you know where they rank in the month of December?
Oh, no, I don't know.
31st.
What, that's bad.
31st defense in the NFL in the month of December. Now, how much does Riley Moss matter? Because we're getting Riley Moss back.
10 positions?
Right? Like maybe
15?
It's hard to believe that a corner could be that important to a football team.
Oh, man.
But they've literally been the second worst defense in the NFL in the month of December.
It scares me they're going to put that since he's going to put up 40 and the Broncos are going to have to get 41.
I don't see how we keep Cincinnati from scoring less than 30 points. And I don't see how we score more than 30 points. Yeah. So this does not feel like a good matchup.
No, it's you know what? I think you hit the nail on the head. If I had to say this doesn't feel like a good matchup. You know what I mean? Like there's a lot of teams this season that I was like, oh yeah, the Broncos could beat that team. This one makes me nervous as hell, but mostly just because of the offense that the Bengals have. Like I think the Broncos are going to score on that craptacular defense that Cincy has, right?
I hope they win because you'll probably win in Week 18 because the Chiefs probably won't win their starters. Mm-hmm. But will you feel good? Like if you win this game,
back into the playoffs,
if you win this game, you go into the playoffs feeling strong.
Yeah, you'll feel great if you can knock off Cincinnati. That'd be amazing. But either way,
that was a tough show.
All right, yeah, man. That was shout out to Toledo and Pitt for playing a 5-hour college football game today. It was awesome. Either way, for Tyler Columbus, I'm Mark Bertinelli. That's the Radio Machine. Mark Springer, thanks for tuning in. It'll be Tyler and D-Mac tomorrow. We also got both the Nuggets and the Avs in action right here on Altitude Sports Radio.